So we need to understand what kind of application we are going to develop. Okay, so first we need to understand the database model for that application. Without just knowing the database model, you cannot create some raw CDS views and create services on top of it. So we go systematically how we are going to develop an application. Okay, and the concept we are going to cover is, first we discuss about the data model explanation, and in this example, basic business object, what kind of a business object we are going to develop in ABAP RESTful programming model. So usually if you are from ABAP background, so if you have to create an application, okay, as a Fiori application, there should be a UFI guy, and also there will be a person who is handling at the back end for creating OData services, right? So that is how we used to create. So we used to completely work on the backend service where we create services in SCSW transaction. That is the old way. And also, for as an ABAP developer who is into ABAP RESTful programming, there are different objects we are supposed to create. It's not just OData service and implementing the DPCXT classes and all. So there are something we need to know. Those are the new database artifacts we are supposed to create. That we also discuss what kind of objects we are supposed to create. And I will explain VDM concept also. This is really important if you are working on real environment. And if you time permits, we'll also see how we can add UI annotations and extension files. I'll also discuss some interesting topics at the end, not related in this specific slide. Whatever points I have mentioned, some interesting points also I will discuss for you to get more familiar with the cloud environment and all. So first we need to, in order to create a CDS model, right, first we should have some database tables. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately we will not have access to standard tables in SAP from our cloud. So if you search for the standard tables, you will not be able to find out. Also, you will not be able to have access to SC11 also. From here, you are not able to log in to GUI itself. It's not permitted in cloud environment. So we have to create our database model by creating Z tables. On top of that, we create our CDS views. So for that CDS views, we need to understand how we can create the CDS views on top of our database tables. So if we have to create a table in normal SC11, we go to SC11, right? So where we create give a table name and then create the table. For those of you who are not familiar with how to create SAP table in Eclipse, from Eclipse itself, instead of going to SC11, we can also do that way. So let me show you a simple example. I created one package. Which is already created. So if I go to dictionary, I created some tables for us. So let's look at our purchase document table. Okay. So this is the table. So all you need to do is simply just right click on your package, new, other ABAP repository objects, search for database table. Okay, database table, click on next, provide the database table name, let's say V1, and provide some description. Click on next, lock it in your TR, finish. So here, what are the fields that you want, you can add it along with the database elements. Sorry, along with the data elements. If you look at my table which I have created, purchase doc, so I have provided all the elements, and also I have given some label also for this one. Okay, because I have given a raw data type here. I'm not giving any data element. I'm just simply typing ABAP dot, what are the data type that I want to access from ABAP. So if we do control space ABAP dot, you get all the data types which are available. Okay, you can use them directly if you do not have data elements. So for this I have created a data element. Why? Because I have to establish a foreign key relationship to my item. So I cannot establish a foreign key without a data element. I cannot directly link with a raw database, sorry, raw data type. That's the reason I had to create a data element. Again, the question, how to create a data element? Simple. Again, the same procedure. Click on package, new, other repository objects. Just type data element. Then you will get this particular option. Just simply click on next, provide the data element name, provide the description, click on next, finish. Now here you need to specify the domain name as well, right? So here I chosen the category as domain. Here you need to specify domain name. Here you can specify all the labels and everything. When you specify that, you can specify the same name for the domain for this data element and type name, and you can choose what kind of data type that you want. Okay, this is very simple, just like how we create in our SC11. Okay, so I'm just closing everything because these are not required. Okay, so that is how I created this table and activate this one. Okay, so on top of these tables, I have created this item table, purchase document table, status, priority, and all. So these are the 4 tables we are going to work on. So I'll create a CDS view on top of them. So before that, we dive into creation of CDS views on all. First, we need to understand what is the way we are supposed to create CDS view in real-time environment. Right, so you cannot just directly create whatever the CDS name you want with proper without any proper naming conventions or anything. So first we need to understand VDM concept. So S4HANA is completely dependent on VDM concept. If you take any CDS view, okay, if you take sales orders, whatever it is, everything is built in VDM concept. Okay, what exactly VDM is? Virtual data modeling. So let's understand virtual data modeling and also understand what is the model we are going to create, like from the database tables to the CDS views, and what kind of objects we are going to create as part of ABAP RESTful programming model for our application. Okay, first let's understand this, and I'll give you just an overview what kind of application I'm going to create. I'll just give you a preview, and we start with the CDS views and all. Okay, that is the plan today. So let me present this. Okay, so VDM concept in CDS views and developing list report. So virtual data model is a structured representation of CDS view in SAP S4HANA. Okay, so the VDM forms the basis for access in SAP S4HANA. The CDS view that makes up VDM follow consistent modeling and naming rules. Okay, CDS views that make up the VDM. So with CDS view, we'll make a virtual data model. Okay, that's why it's written like CDS view that make up VDM. So CDS views are going to make a VDM concept. Okay, so with CDS view, you will design a virtual data model. They expose business data stored in abstract database tables. Let me explain what exactly this meant. So let's look at this one. We'll try to understand what exactly virtual data model. So we have a database layer here. Okay, there we store physical tables, right? So physical tables contains the actual information of the data. So whenever you create a CDS view and you are trying to consume it, do not directly create on this table. Okay, so first you look for any basic tables which are on top of it. So we understand what exactly basic tables also. So let's look at this. This is the database layer. And with virtual data model, we create different CDS views on top of our physical tables. Okay, and this is in S4HANA system. Okay, whatever virtual data model that you have created will be exposed to the different applications. It could be a Fury app or business intelligence tools. So they can consume these virtual data models. So whatever the models that we have created in S4HANA. So we have physical tables. On top of that, we create different CDS views, and those will be exposed to the different user interfaces. So how do we create virtual data model? So this is another question. So let's have a look at the example. So what are the slides that I have discussed earlier, right? So physical tables, CDS views. How do we create these CDS views? What is the naming convention we need to follow? So let's take, there is a database table, right? So VBAP, we have this one. And you want to consume some information from this particular table. For that, first you need to do is a basic interface view. First you need to create a basic interface view on top of VBAP. Okay, you need to create basic interface view on top of VBAP. And then if you want to merge the information with the header data also, so along with VBAP you want to merge the header data. So that means you are trying to access more than one table, right? If you want to fetch information from different tables, and on top of that you want to just create a CDS view. That means you're creating a CDS view and you're joining multiple tables in that CDS view. So that CDS view gives a result from different database tables. Okay, so that is composite. So in name itself you can see composite. You have to mention that CDS view or the CDS view type as a VDM type as a composite in the annotation. So we'll mark it that CDS view. Okay, this is a composite view and this is a basic view or not. Like that we mark it. The final one is you can create a consumption view. For this, here we can add your user interface annotations, BA related annotations related to aggregation and all. So whatever the annotations which are related to user interface, you can have it here. So this will be the final consumption view. So underlying this way, these are all the objects that we are supposed to create. Okay. So not all the cases. Why? Because you do not have to create every time like basic view, composite view, interface view and all, because SAP has given already most of the basic views for every database table. So we start with I underscore. You just have to search for them. For example, sales. If I search for I underscore sales, I'll get all the basic views or the any view that is created on top of it. So you do not go to blindly create basic view, composite view, consumption view for every time. So first look for any table which is having a basic view on my physical table. So then only we go for this. If you do not find, so suppose you're creating your table for the first time, Z table, right? Those Z table do not have any basic views because that we have created. So you can create your basic view, a composite view if it's required, or directly you can create a consumption view. So it's all depends on the case. So most of the cases, if you're working with standard tables, you do not have to create basic view because there will be already basic views. You just consume from this basic view. Do not fetch data from directly VBAP when you're creating a CDS view. So this is about the layers, how the layers are defined. If you look at our previous slide like this. So this is how the view will be created on top of the physical tables. That is the example I have shown. So this is my physical table. On top of that I have created a VDM. So next thing is naming conventions, and also what is the annotation that we are supposed to use for basic views and composite consumption. So it start with like this, I underscore star, okay, and composite views I underscore star. So both will follow the same naming convention, but the identification name will be different. So if you are fetching information from different tables, so mark it as a composite. And consumption, you have to mark it as C underscore star. So this is the final one. We'll be exposing to the user interface or business different applications. The final consumption view is the one that we are going to give it to the user or for the developer who want to consume this. Okay, this is about the VDM and consumption composite basic interface view. So the next question will be, obviously most of the already will having in their mind that why exactly we have to create all this. So why can't we just simply fetch it and expose it? Okay, so why S4HANA is following this way? Why can't they directly do it? So let me explain with a simple example. So the main idea is to make your development into smaller chunks, right? So that different people will be able to consume whatever the part they want. If you keep it everything in the same place, you only will be using that. Nobody will be able to use according to their requirement. Okay, so let's say I'm telling consumption view is the one finally going to consume. Okay, let's say you have some logic. Okay, you did not create basic view, composite view, or consumption view, anything. So consumption, you create directly consumption view, and inside that you want to do all the calculations or anything. Let's say this is my CDS view, CDS view 1, and here you want to perform some calculations. Okay, while creating the calculations, you have performing calculations. You included all the fields you want, all the fields, and you added all the annotations. Okay, related to all the information, so be related to BI or UI, anything. Okay, so let's say there is another developer who saw your CDS views and he does not want to perform some calculations. He wants some fields, okay, and also he saw many user interface annotations. Okay, he is not able to utilize this one. This complete CDS view is just for you, so nobody is able to here add this one. So let's say you divide it into different layers for this one. Okay, let's say CDS view 1.1, this, let's say basic. Here you have all the fields, and let's say composite view 1.2, you added some calculations here, and CDS view, let's say this is the basic one. Okay, so basic one is already then is the consumption view. Here you have added UI and BA annotations. Now somebody wants to utilize, they can take whichever the layer they want, correct? Suppose I do not want any calculations or anything, so they just simply fetch from the basic view and do whatever they want. And so for example, they saw the composite view, okay, some calculations which are there, I can directly fetch from this CDS view. Somebody so they saw this composite view, but they looked at the consumption view and see there are different annotations that we may not require. So then they will create directly on composite view. They'll create a consumption view on their composite view and add whatever the annotations they want. You see, there are different layers. If you divide into different layers, it is very flexible for the developer to use whichever the part they want instead of keeping everything. So this will be just for you. Okay, this will be for everyone. So anyone will see this layer, at whatever the layer it is reusable, they will use. Here if they want to specific things, they cannot take it. Okay, this is specific to your requirements. So if they have a different requirements, they have to again do it from the scratch by creating this CDS view. Correct? So hope you make it sense for you. Why VDM? So S4HANA follows VDM. Okay, this is how different layers will be useful for the reusability purpose. Now, what if you do not provide these annotations? Nothing will happen because these are just for a documentation purpose, and this is always a recommended way. SAP recommends to create views in such way so that it will be developer friendly and also it will be reusable. Okay, so if you do not provide these annotations also, nothing will happen, but developer will have the confusion that whether this is a composite view or consumption view, how do he's supposed to use it. Okay, so if you just look at the annotation and see, okay, this is composite view, this is consumption view, based on that he can make a decision whether to reuse it or not. Okay, hope it's clear. And now what kind of application we are going to develop, that is we are going to see what is the data model we are going to create. So by looking at this application, this slide, you will be able to create your database model. It could be anything. It's not just the slide that I have given. You can create any table and follow the same database model and create your own database model. Okay, so first we have these physical tables, purchase items, document, status, priority, and vendor if you want. So I keep all these 4 tables, and other one you can take it for your practice. Okay, how to create the table and associate. So this is very basic. We understand we have tables. So we start with basic view because these are our Z tables. So we are not able to use the standard views, or else I would have created my composite view directly on the basic view, which is already available in the standard. Okay, so my basic view, first I need to create on top of this one. Okay, and I'll create another base purchase document, status, priority here. And you may ask what we do in the basic view. So basic view is just a projection on the table, so it will not have anything. So in the basic view, let's say you created a purchase document, PO underscore document. There is a field, okay, in this particular table. PO doc is something which is not a convenient way to read, right? So we further extend the, we further try to provide more information about this table, because when you look at a table, most of the details will be technical with data elements, with fields which will not be able to understand, like VBELN, something like that, right? So it is better to give more information, like VBELN, give an alias name as a sales, a sales document number. Let me open a specific view here. How exactly a basic view should be, I'll give an example. So if you look at this, so VDM type is basic for this one. So directly they are fetching from the VBAK. Okay, so we fetch the information directly from VBAK on the raw table, but we try to add more details. For example, if you see VBLN, we provide an alias name, so that when the developer or any user is trying to look at this view, we're able to understand, okay, this VBLN is nothing but sales document. There is a difference between a raw table and a basic view, because basic view will contain more information. Okay, and also we try to add as much associations as possible, so that at the basic view level we give all the information related to this VBAK, so how it is related to other CDS views or other tables, right? So provide as much information as possible, but do not do any calculations. Do not any calculations. Basic view is always about projecting your underlying physical table with more information. That's it, as simple as that. So similarly, they are following the same way. So VBAK, select some fields, provide an alias name, and you can also add some information related to different annotations like currency, whatever it is. As much as possible you can associate. You can also expose your consumption views also. Sorry, your F4 helps also from here. Okay. So basically, this is what a basic view, and that is the basic view we are going to create. So here, let me open the slide again. So we create items and purchase document, PO status, priority. Okay, this is done. So now if you want to add some calculations to the composite view, I want to perform some aggregation, the number of sales that are happened, so the number of documents which are going to be, what is the sum of the total items, that kind of stuff I can do it in the composite view itself. I can add the calculations. Okay, so for that I can create a composite view. So how I am going to create a composite view? So till here we're clear, right? So it's just a direct selection on raw tables. We'll add more information. So what I'm going to do is I'll create a composite view. I'll fetch information from purchase items as well as purchase document. Okay, you can see how I'm creating composite views. That's the reason I call it as a composite, because I'm selecting information from more than one table. So once I'm done with it, so I'll try to expose this view as a consumption view. So I'll directly do a select on this specific composite view. So all this information, my underlying tables and basic view data, that will be combined into a single composite view, and that will be consumed as a consumption view. Okay, here I will add my UI annotations which are required for my specific application, and somebody comes and they have a different UI annotation, they have a different arrangement and all, and they can directly create another consumption view on a composite view, and according to their requirements they can do whatever they want without disturbing my consumption view. Okay, so that is wherever the base layer that is reusable for you, create your CDS view on top of it and do your consumption view, whatever it is, whatever the annotation that you want according to your requirement. That is where there are different layers. You can choose whichever the layer useful for you and directly create your CDS view on top of it. Okay, and also create another CDS view, consumption view, which will directly fetch the information from the report. Okay, and also I'll create, as I mentioned earlier, so we have to provide as much as information as possible. So if you look at this specific view, Z purchase document. Okay, if you observe, there are new arrows come, which is in dark yellow. Okay, here we have dotted yellow arrows, here we have dark yellow. So just look at this purchase document. So this is nothing but an association. Okay, look at here, the dark arrow is an association. So let's look how many associations are there from my purchase document. Okay, if you see purchase document, there is a field called status. So I will associate it with a PO status table, sorry, CDS view. And I'll try to associate with the priority as well. And also if there is a Z vendor, I can associate with the vendor. From documents, I can have an association to my items as well, you see. And from items, you can have an association to purchase document as a parent. So that's why there is a dual arrow here, two sides arrow. Because we are establishing a relationship from my purchase document to the item. From item, we are establishing a relation to the purchase document as well. Okay. So we have composite view and consumption view, and also we directly create everything here. So this is the model we are going to create. Any doubts in this model? Okay, so this is about the model, and the next thing is, so you are already aware what kind of model is it. So let's show you the overview. So how the application is going to look. So I got a question, can we add additional fields which are not there in the table? Okay, so that means additional field in the sense that will be a calculated field. Okay, so it's not suggested to add a calculated field in a basic view. You can do it in the composite view. So whatever the calculations you want. So basic view, you have to free it as much as possible. If you're directly selecting from a physical table, do not add any calculations in the basic view. If you create a basic view on top of another basic view, so you're creating extra more layer, there you can perform your calculations. That is also you can do it. But if you're directly selecting from the raw table here, do not perform any calculations. Okay, as much as possible, because this is a basic one. It should not have any specific related to your requirements, specific logic to your requirements. Okay. So, but if you create on top of this CDS view, sales document basic, to create another view, there you can do it, because you're creating another layer for reusability. Okay. So let me show you the app that kind of we are going to discuss before I show you the development flow of ABAP RESTful programming, how we create all the objects, because this is also important. So this is how the application looks like. So we'll have a selection fields here, so filters here with a search capability as well, and we'll have a purchase document status, priority, and if there is another field we want, we can add it. So we'll have F4 help for each one. So directly when you're typing, so you'll get suggestions also based on the priority, so based on the annotation that we use for fuzzy search and all, right? So this is the filter bar. Here you see all the filters which you want, and as soon as I click on go with the filter, I'll get all the information. Okay, so you get purchase document details, what is the overall price. This is something, an aggregation we do in this layer. Composite view, we see total price, so that is a view which is showing up here with overall price, which is an aggregation. And we see the status, priority, changed by details, created, is approval required or not, based on the PO value. So if you look at this, we are highlighting some of the fields in warning, red status, or green, right? This is something we can achieve with different annotations. That is also we are going to cover. Okay. And if you see, there are some actions here. Cancel order, if you want set status, you can create, delete. There are some There's some actions also we are going to add it here. Okay, so now as soon as I navigate from here, let me forward. So if I click on any purchase document item, I'll be navigating to this specific object page. Okay, here also by making use of different annotations, we see the description and everything whatever we want here, and we highlight some of the fields which are, you know, we need user need attention. Okay, so total price and what is approval for this one, and we see this tab is contains purchase document details, and also there will be another tab, purchase items. So when I click on that one as well, you will get the item details which are there in my related to this specific purchase document here when I click on it. Okay, so this is the app we are going to create. So we are not going to add transactions yet, but this is the application we are going to create. On top of this application, we are going to add our actions or whatever the things which are required. Okay, this is how we are going to create the application. Just to give a heads up. So where should we start? So I'll make it quick. So we have this SAP HANA. So first we need to concentrate on data modeling, and we have to create these business services in order to expose them, and finally the service consumption happens from a Fiori application. Okay, these are 3 stages. So we will have a CDS based data model to make it behavior definition and behavior implementation. This is related to actions. Okay, if you want to enable transactional capability, this will come into picture. Right now this is not required, so we just done with CDS model. We'll project the elements, what are the elements that you want. So this is kind of a consumption view. We project the elements by adding annotations. So we'll also expose what are the behaviors you want to expose. So forget about this one, do not worry, we'll discuss, but look at this one. So CDS based data model, we'll explore the model projection, and we'll define a service definition. We'll create a service definition for the CDS models that we have created, and we see whether it is an service or an API here only. Okay, so while creating service binding, we'll define the protocol, whether it is an OData service or it's just a simple raw API service where we do not have any annotation. It's just a raw service. And then we can look at the preview, how it looks for based consuming the service here. Okay, so just look at this particular row here. Do not concentrate on this for now because this is related to transactional capabilities. When we create the transaction or when we enable the transactions, we look at the structure again. So this is for Fiori list report. Okay, this is what the development flow looks. Start with the CDS model, project your model as a consumption, and create a service definition and do a service binding, and finally you can have a preview in your Eclipse as well. Okay, let me close all the tabs. Just right click on any of the tab, you can close all. Okay, just a tip. So for this specific one, I'll create a package for our list report. RAP, I'll say list report. Fab 21. Okay, list report development from scratch. Click on next. And software component, you can provide it as home. Click on next. Well, say local, I believe. provide super package, click on next and finish. So my package is ready. So I gave super package as zlocal. So in order to show my this package, I have to add it to my favorite. So right click on favorite, add package, choose your package and click on OK. So that will show up here. Right now it is blank. There is nothing here. So first, what is the first thing we are supposed to do? We have to create our basic CDS view. So we just simply need to go here and look at what am I supposed to do here. So first, it will always start with the purchase document because that is a header, that is a root one, right? So we cannot directly create purchase items. So purchase document will start with it as a basic view here. So right click, get a definition, click on next. So let's follow a naming convention for this one. I'll say ZI PO, I'll say purchase details. Okay, start with I because you are creating a Z version of it. So if it is a standard one, it will always start with I. Okay, so for our Z objects, we'll start with Z, and you can provide purchase document details, which is basic view. So if you do not have access to cloud, you're facing any trouble, you can also simply create on top of your on-premise system as well. Okay, click on next and so choose your define view and finish. So as usual, we have to provide our SQL view name, ZI pivot doc, and what is the table? So I have created some tables. So tables here, so I'll choose my table Z purchase doc. And I'll do a control space, insert all the elements. Instead of typing, you can do a control space, you will get this option, insert all the elements, and save this and activate. Okay, so if you have given alias name this kind of field in any other table or CDS view, by default you get these alias names. Okay, if you're creating for the first time, you have to provide for each an alias name as purchase document pure description status. So as I mentioned earlier, so this is my basic view. For this basic view, it should have the information directly on the raw table. We do not have to add additional information. Sorry, we have to add additional information apart from the purchase document. So if I click on F3, just see all the technical information. Just to give a meaningful information here, you can come here and do it. So first thing we need to do is this CDS view. Let me create the item view as well, so that while we are joining, it will be already available. So let's create all the tables independently first, and then we'll create a association. So let me create the other one. View definition, ZI receipt purchase items. Click on next and finish. So this will be on top of my table. Provide the dictionary view, PO items, purchase item, insert all the elements, save it and activate. Let me check if there is data. Yes, we have some data here in both the tables. Let me check here in these tables. Yes, we have the information in both the tables. So somebody may get a doubt, how did you populate the data? Okay, so because it is a cloud system, how do we do it? So that is also and shortcut I will show you how to do it. Do not worry. So by end of this session I will going to share with you. So we are done with this one. And also, what is the other table? We have to create status and priority tables. I'll create these two CDS views as well, basic views. So one more thing, if you observe, I did not add the annotations yet. So let me try to add the annotation by indicating that this is a basic view. Okay. So I'll say object model or else VDM dot view type control space basic save. So if you observe here, I'm getting a the use of annotation VDM type is not permitted, so it's not yet released in the cloud. Okay, so we are not able to use this specific annotation for now. So activate this one. So in on-premise, you can see this one is it's already released, and we can use this specific annotation in on-premise. Okay, when you're creating on-premise, you can use this one. So for now, I have commented this one because in cloud it's not permitted yet. Similarly, this is also a basic view. VDM dot view type basic. Save it and commit this and activate. So I'll create the other one. What is it? Is status related. Say ZI Rishi PO status. Click on next. Hope you're able to follow me. If you feel that I'm going fast, please let me know in the chat. ZI Rishi PO status. Rishi, and let's look at if there is a PO status table. Yes, PO status. Insert all the elements. Manoj says yeah. So you mean going fast, or is the pace is okay? Save this.
Yep, pace is okay, Rishi.
Yeah, thank you. Can we use define view entity instead of define view? I heard it is the new one. Lenny asking a question. Can we use define view entity instead of define view? So what I would suggest is we can still use define view entity. What I believe is, suppose if you are creating this is a basic view, here we can use it. If you are creating for the purpose of RESTful ABAP programming model, right? Even I saw that define view entity is also option is there. So when you are including this as part of your business object, okay, let me check why it is giving error. Not allowed for view entities. Lenny, I will answer your question. I will try to create another CDS view on top of this and try to add with a view entity. So as far as I believe, define view entity is something when we are creating a business object, we usually use that when we're creating a business object on top of CDS view. So let's look at that example also. So for now, let's create all this information. I'll show an example also on that. PO priority. Click on next and finish. So this is related to priority. And insert all the elements. Save this and activate. So these are the 4 tables I have created. So on top of this, we'll start with creating the association. So we'll associate the information. So from whatever it is, so let me purchase details. From here, we'll add all the information. So what kind of information I'm going to add, that I'm going to show you, and what kind of annotation we are supposed to add also I'm going to show you. And we are done with the basic part here, so we are not yet created. We haven't created the associations or the composite views or the consumption view. Okay, that is something we are going to do in the next session. So far we are done with the creation of the basic views, and we need to establish the relationship between these views and also add some more information, which is not available in the raw database tables. Okay, let's start with that. I'll go to the editor, and let me go to our package here, data definitions, purchase details here. So let's start from the purchase details. So if you see here, for our purchase document, we just see the raw fields. There is no information related to how it is related to other tables also. So let's start with that. Just a second, please. So I'll create the association first. Association. And what is the cardinality? So for every purchase document, what is the cardinality I can choose? Can anyone tell me what will be the cardinality at this level for the purchase items? You can type in the chat. So let me go and show me off, please. So yeah, most of them saying 1 to n. Yes, 1 to n. So at least 1, maximum star. It's not like n up to star. So it could be n number of records. So what is our target CDS view? So our CDS view is purchase items, right? So my alias name will be starting with underscore purchase items on what is the projection. Dot purchase document equals to purchase, my alias name of the association, dot purchase document. Save this one. So I'm getting a warning that association is not used. So let's make it reusable and expose this in my CDS view and activate. So I'll do F8 to check whether the data is coming or not. I also test my association. So for this 1000 purchase document, is there any item available? Yes, there are some items. So what else I can create? So what is the other association I can create from here? So we have to provide as much information as I can. So what else I can create? So I can create an association to my status also, because there is a field called status here. And suppose user wants to get the details of the status, or user want to get the details of the company code, he should be able to freely navigate, or able to get the details from this particular field via association. So you have to see the probability, like possibilities, how many possible ways user can access the data just based on this view. Okay, so I'll add another association. And what is the status? Sorry, what should be the cardinality here? It could be 1 to 1, or I can simply say 1, because for each status there will be only one record. And to my PO status, and as purchase status on projection, it will be the status code, right? So it will have a status code and the text for this. So status will be the common field, and I'll add this one. So in there we have status, so that is one. Save it and publish this one. purchase status. Similarly, I'll create for the other one also, priority also I will create. Association, I'll say 1, 2, 3, Rishi, PO priority. As purchase priority on my projection, what is the field? Which is priority and purchase priority. Dot. You take this one. I'll take the value from here, priority, and save this and activate. Sorry guys, I was on mute speaking, so I had to take the call. Okay, so I have exposed this association also, priority, PO priority, and exposed this one as well. So I want to add more information to each field. Okay, so to each field I want to add more information by specifying the annotations as well, not just associations, annotations as well. So if I look at this application, if you see here, the purchase document description is coming in bold letters, right? And there is a document number underlined under that one as well. So how do you combine these two things, like purchase description and purchase document? So that is where our one annotation will be useful for us. Whenever somebody accesses this one, they can directly see the purchase document description as well. So how do we do that? So there is an annotation called object model dot text element. Okay, so here you're specifying for this purchase document there is an element which gives you the description. So this is the element. If you attach this to this specific purchase document key, and whatever the value which is there for PO description will be considered as a text for this one. But one more thing we need to do is we have to mark this field as text, because this is a text field, so that it could be reused by this specific purchase document. Okay, I'll explain again. So object text element, what exactly it is doing is you are telling for the purchase document, consider the description from this field PO description. Okay, so from here you will get the description for this one, and you're telling, since this is a text elements, you are explicitly marking, okay, this is a text element, it should be considered for other text elements. So that is the reason we have mentioned this one. Okay, so activate this one. So now let's go to purchase document items. Okay, and how many associations we created? We created 3 associations, we added 1 annotation, and purchase document items. Here, what can we do here? So here we can create an association to the purchase document as well, because to the header we can move from our purchase document items. So I'll create the association. So what should be the cardinality when I'm creating the association to my purchase header? So what should be the cardinality? So let's try to think what should be the cardinality. Atmanan said 1. That's correct. Yes, when we are moving from item to header, because our items will always have one header, so we can specify like this to our purchase document table, sorry, CDS view, as purchase header on projection purchase doc equals to, I'll take the purchase header and purchase document. So I'll expose this association. Save this and activate. So what else I can do here? So can I provide more information about the currency? User will be able to do the look at the currency details and also quantity details, unit of measure. So for that also I will add. So far we are using, our CDS view. We are associating with our CDS view. So can we associate with standard views also? Let's look at that example also. So what I will do is I'll associate this one, my purchase, or the currency which is there, to there is one CDS view, basic view, which is already there, I underscore currency. I will associate to that. So I'm using the already existing one. I'll say currency here. So I'll say currency dot currency. Okay, save this one. So for unit of measure also I'll add association 121 2 I underscore unit of measure as UOM on projection unit equals to UOM dot unit of measure. Save this and you can activate this one. You can expose both of them, say currency and UOM. Okay, so activate this one. So how do we provide the item description as well? Just like for our purchase document, so I want to see the item description as well when I'm displaying the data. So let me check if that is already implemented here. So here there is nothing like that. So item is just displaying like this, and there is no item description. So item description is a separate column. So I want to display both of them in a similar way. So I can do it by specifying the save object model annotation dot text element. So what is the field which is holding the description? This is the one, and you have to mark this as text element true. And now I'll add other annotation which specify, okay, while displaying the price also we have to display the unit as well, right, along with the currency, right? For quantity also we have to display the unit as well along with the current value. So if you observe here, price value combining with two values, so 200 USD, quantity 120 each. There is no separate column for the unit. So how do we do that? So here I can specify that, okay, this price is a currency. So this is a price value which will have a currency, so where it should pick up. So we have to say semantics currency code. It's not the currency code. So this is an amount field, so you have to indicate that, okay, this is an amount field, and for this amount field you can consider the currency from this field. Okay, so we are telling for this price consider the currency value from this field. And when you say attach that like that, you have to also indicate that, okay, this is a currency field, currency code. Similarly for quantity as well. Okay, semantics dot quantity unit of measure. Where should I consider the unit? From this field. And also you need to mention this is a unit field. Sorry, not the currency code. This is a unit of measure as true. Okay, hope you're able to understand. So we are trying to display the values like this, so which will have quantity which along with the unit itself instead of a separate column. So this is a standard way that we follow in the real time as well. So you do not specify it in the separate column when it is holding any description, just like item or the purchase document, is always better to use these two annotation to show in the same column, so that you will save some space as well, right? So activate this, and so we are done adding the information here. Also, if anything we want to add, similarly for status also I'll add, because it will have the information. Object model, text element, so this will have a text here. I'll mark this as a true. Sorry, semantics I have to use. Save this and activate it. Okay. So how do we know that we need to add object model and semantics? So the simple answer is that will come by practice. So when you learn something like this, and if you look at the documentation by simply pressing F1, you see what are the object model annotations which are required, right? So suppose object model annotations for DDIC based views, you can see what are the values which are there. Okay, most probably by learning we'll understand, by practicing we get to know. So it's not just like directly there is a division like, okay, this is where we need to use, that is where we need to use. So when it related to semantic information like this, whether you are indicating this text as a true, so is there any annotation which tells that, okay, this is a text? So these are the things that we will be specifically understand by learning and practicing. By experience also you will get it. Okay, so you can also look at standard CDS views and see what kind of elements they are using, at which situation they are using. So you can learn that way. So for example, if it is only related to ABAP, so there is an annotation which is ABAP catalog. So this is something we can directly understand. If there is related to access control, there is some annotation related to access control. Okay. So I've added everything, and priority also I'll finish it, and we'll start with the other composite view. Let me add quickly. And here I'll say object model, semantics, text true, and activate it. So you learn about different annotations, so which are at very pretty basic level. Okay, these are not related to the user interface annotations. Okay, this is something which will be interpreted by the SODL framework, and that will add some metadata information to this specific CDS view. So why we want to display the data like this? Okay, we want to include the description within the same column, instead of item is here, item description is here. Okay, for that purpose we are doing. Similarly, for price and quantity also we did the same using different annotations. So what is the next step we have to perform? So the next step is we need to create the Z total price. So this is where we can create another CDS view on top of my different CDS views, so which will be more than one. I think in this example we have clubbed basic and composite views. So far we are at the basic level only. We just created an associations. There is nothing we have done. So we haven't clubbed any tables, we haven't joined anything. Okay, so let's do it one thing. So I'll create a composite view which involves two different CDS views, access information. So that will be a composite view. Right click, new data definition, ZI. So please hold on to your question, we'll discuss at the end. So let's finish this, we are running out of time. Purchase document total price. Okay, click on next, and finish. Provide the name for the data dictionary. GI Rishi PO total, and this will be our from purchase document details only we are going to create. Okay, because if you look at our example in this specific here, so we are displaying the overall price along with the purchase document details. Okay, this is where we need to create a composite view, because we are doing fetching details from the items, because based on the item data only we are supposed to aggregate the purchase document total price. That's the reason. So I'll create this one. It will be on purchase details. Save it. So insert all the elements which are there. And activate. So how do I know this is a composite view? Since annotation is not yet supported, but still for your purpose I'll mark it this as a composite view, so that you know that this view fetching the information from different tables. So first thing, we already have purchase document, description and everything. The other thing we need to perform is we have to fetch the total price, right? So total price is something which will be there in the purchase item table, right? So in the item table only we'll have the purchase total price. So we have to get that information. First what I will do is I'll fetch the total price here. So let's say sum. So just a second. So I access the association. Based on the association, what are the association we have? Purchase items dot price. Okay, so we do not have total price field in the items, right? So total price, there is no such thing as total price. So first we try to create that one. Okay, so where is the purchase document items? So I'll do a calculated field here. So as I mentioned earlier, it is always better to avoid calculations at the basic view level, but I'm breaking the law here. Okay, just simply for our simplicity. Okay, because I need to create another view on top of it in order to make it reusable further. So I simply add one more column, which is I'll just do a calculation, price into the number of items, right? So price into the number of quantity. So this is the one that I am supposed to multiply with as total price. So simple, right? I just multiplying price and quantity, because there are 10 quantity for the items, total 10, and I'm multiplying each quantity with this one, price. Okay, so if you look at my example, so if you observe here, price and quantity, okay, so we have 200 for each quantity, 10 into 200, $2,000. So that is what we are doing, total price we are taking. So when you take a total price for these items, so because these are the items for this purchase document, I can do a sum of all this in my purchase document. So when I have this total price, I can do a sum all the way. So that's why I'm just simply for you to show how to do a calculated field. This is also an example. So just because this is the total price, so I can consume this in my composite view, which is total price. So here I'll add this one, total price. So I'll provide an alias name as I'll say item total price. Okay, so this is how we add. So we do the sum. So let's look at the error that we are getting. So let me format this. So the group by clause is missing because when you are performing any aggregations, you have to mention, okay, what is the, how you're grouping this one, right? So when you use the sum, you have to specify all the fields which are part of this one, so that by that it will group the details. So let's do that one. So what are the fields which are here? So I'll group by all the fields because it's always unique. I'll do a space. I'll perform, keep it all here. So remove this one. So we can end it with the semicolon, save it. So let's see if this is working fine. So activate this one and do F8. So let's look at the field. So item total price. Okay, you can see this information. So what are the items which are there for one? We are getting item total price. In the same way, if I go back to my items, so here I can see the price, total price for each one. So 12 into whatever the quantity which is there, 15, 180. So we are doing the sum of these items for each purchase document. So you get the sum here. So hope it's clear. So we're just doing it. So since we added a price column, so it's always better to use the currency details as well here. So semantics, which is an amount field, currency. So where should it pick? We do not have a currency code here. So what should we do? So we'll bring the currency field which is already there in my purchase document item. So that is also I can reuse. So let me reuse that one. Currency. Okay. Save it. Is not contained in the group class. So this is something we also supposed to use it. Save it and activate it. So we have to give the complete field. So okay, so we are done with this, and also I'll add the column here. What is the currency which is holding? This is the currency field, and I also mark this as a currency field. Semantics dot currency true. Save it and activate it. Okay, so this is the target view that we are supposed to create. Okay, if you look at the database model, so we are done with the composite view as well. So why? Because we are fetching the information from other CDS view also via association. So it involves more than one table, right? So it fetches the information from my GCDS receipt purchase details and as well item data as well. So we are performing an aggregation to display the item total price within this one. So the final one we need to do is we have to create a consumption view on top of these two so that we can reuse. Okay, we can add annotations to the consumption view itself. So let's create that one as well. So we'll be done creating 7 CDS views. Okay, so I'll create the consumption view. We start with C. Okay, GC Rishi, and I'll say purchase report. Purchase report, and click on next. Go next and finish. So I'll mark this as a consumption view. First, GRishi provide the name, PO report, and I'll mark this one as VDM basic. Yes, and I'll fetch the information from my total price. So you just have to look at the database model that I shown you if you are getting confused. So that is how I'm following. So right click on it. So we got all the information here, and simply you can activate this one. Comment this and activate. Okay, so I'm done with this report, this CDS view creation, also consumption view, and I will also create another consumption view on top of my purchase document report item data. So I'll simply create another one. So the view type is consumption, and activate it. So what is the left? So I'm directly creating another table on top of my purchase document item, okay, to add annotations on top of my item details as well. So instead of adding directly on the basic view, I'm creating a consumption view. So here if you see, I've skipped the composite view for this item details because I'm not performing anything under that. So I could have added one more, because just to have a simplicity, I've directly created the consumption view on top of my purchase document details. Okay, this is the one. So purchase document details, this is how it comes, not here. So this report will fetch the information from this item, okay, not directly. This is the arrow mark which is pointed to this way. Okay, so I'll create one more, the final one, which is on item data, which is a consumption view. GC Rishi item data. Click on next and finish. So I'll say GC Rishi PO item, and I'll say I'm fetching from directly my purchase document table items. So this is the table GI Rishi purchase items, and bring all the fields. I don't need to do anything. Save it. Okay, this is it. So we are done with the database model here. So far we created a CDS model and purchase document manager. So this is the model that we have right now, and we add annotations to the final consumption views and try to consume that from the service. Okay, yeah, so let's create so I'll take the questions, few more questions at the end. So what I will do is, I'm done with this one, right? So let's create the service itself. Okay, so we'll create a service. So far you remember I did not add any annotations. Okay, I just simply create the service on top of the final consumption views. Okay, so how do I do it? So if you look at my development flow here, so we are done with the CDS model. So we are also done with the projection. So projection I haven't shown, I will show it. So projection is something, but is kind of a consumption view that we create directly. Okay, so that is you can forget about this one. I will show it in the transactional application. Do not worry. So next up is create the service definition. Okay, and service binding. So these are the two steps which are left. So let's do that steps, and at the end I will show how to populate the data as well. So there is a different artifact we are supposed to create for service definition. So let's create service definition. Click on next. So provide a service definition name. So I'll say Rishi SD service definition, which is for purchase report. Purchase report. Let's say purchase report. I'll provide the purchase report name. Click on next and finish define service. Okay, and save it here. So if you observe here, it is just a defined service. We are defining a service, and this is a place where you need to tell, okay, I'm going to create a service, and what kind of entities, what is the data should be available via this service, right? So since we are using this core data size, what are the model that we have created so far, right? This model. So all the CDS views we want to expose it to the users. So it is compulsory for us to include everything in the service definition, or else it will give an error when you're consuming the service. So whatever the service definitions, so CDS views which you have created, like basic interface view, whatever, for your application, your requirement, those service definitions should be exposed here. So by using keyword expose and the service name. So let's start with the expose in the consumption view, the Rishi purchase report, and I'll expose the remaining also. Purchase items. So there are underlying CDS views also there, right? For this one, it's not just this one. We have to expose those CDS views also. Expose GI Rishi purchase details. Expose GI Rishi purchase items. Next, document total price. Expose. There are some associations also related to a PO status. So for those associations, if you consume, they also should be available here. So most of the people get into issues because they do not expose the services properly. They miss some associations which are part of their model. So you have to be very careful when you're exposing here. So total 7 CDS views I created. Yes, so 7 of them I have exposed here. So this step is over. Creating the service definition. The next one is service binding. Okay. So I'll create a service binding. Right click on the business service, new service binding. Also you can right click here. So same steps, search for service binding. Okay. Or you can directly go to your business service here and right click here. So explicitly telling, okay, for this service I'm going to create a service binding, so that here automatically it will populate. So you do not have to type it again. What is the service definition you're trying? So I'll say service binding. I'll change the name to SB. Service binding. So here where we define the protocol, whether you want to expose it as OData service or an API. So here we got these different things. Okay. So OData v2 is a which is frequently used so far. So recently they have come up with OData v4 also. Okay, so OData v2 and v4 is something you can explore and understand, because there are some features which are added to the OData v4 version. So I personally did not work on OData v4. I'm recently getting to work on it. I'm still exploring this one because this is a very latest one. So most of the cases, 90% of the application that run currently will be on OData v2 only. Okay, v2 is still evolving, v4 is still evolving. So just like this, we'll have a web API or UI. So let's look at this only two options. These are advanced versions which are not yet completely in released phase or development. Some of the features are released but not completely. It's still under development, most of the features. So OData v2 are existing from the longer time. Okay, so v2 is something we are going to create as for our Fury application, which is user interface, whereas web API they can directly consume just by calling the web API service. Okay, that means the OData, if you export it, you have to add all the user interface annotations. So you are keeping in mind that, okay, my service is specifically for a Fury application, not for any web API. So any other clients which can directly access my information, I'm explicitly developing for my Fury application. So OData v2 you need to take it here. Okay, now click on next. So if you choose web API, you do not have to do anything. Okay, you don't have to use any annotations. Sorry, user interface annotations. That is without user interface annotations. Okay, click on choose. Now you have to save this one. So to enable published of local service, not active service binding, activate the service binding. So I'll go to the service binding. Here I'll right click and I'll activate this one. Okay, so once you activate here, you need to publish this one. Then my OData service will be completely generated, and that will be part of my service catalog, whatever the service that we maintain, right? So if you look at in SEGW, right, you maintain the service, right? There is a step you maintain the service in a transaction. So this is exactly the same stuff we'll do. When you click on publish, this will generate a service, it will be maintained for that, for you to access. So this is going to take some time. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah, so here you can see whatever the entities, so CDSP entities that you have exposed will be part of your service. Okay, let me close it here. So basically at the consumption view level only we add all the annotations. Okay, so let's run this one. So choose your main report, the header kind of report, root CDS view, click on preview, or you can directly double click here. So this is a new feature. In normal service, OData service, you will not have the preview feature, but for ABAP RESTful, you will have the preview feature, how your data looks like. Okay, click on go. So you see there is no data. So why? Because we haven't added any annotations. We did not tell how the data should be displayed. What is the position of the purchase document? What is the in which column that particular column should appear? Nothing. But just for the sake of simplicity, without annotations, let me show you the how data looks. So these are all the fields which are available in that CDS view. You can select all, and you get all the data. Okay, so this is how you get the information. But this is just to show, okay, data is being fetched from the data. And if you see the PO document, you are getting both of them into a single column, right? If you navigate, we haven't done anything in the object page. So it's just in the main page. We haven't done any annotation to show in this particular object page. That we are going to see it in the next week. And the next okay, so next topic that is left is, which is just for your information, how to populate the data, right? So everyone is interestingly waiting for that. So I hope you are able to create a table. Okay, so the next question is, how do I populate this particular table? Okay, close everything. Just refresh your package. So I'll explain this one and we'll take questions later. And now cannot see this. Let me go to my service and navigate to the table. Purchase, so document report or purchase details. So this is my raw table. So assume that you have done with this particular table creation and you want to populate the data. The tedious task is, yes, you can create a console program, ABAP program, and manually upload the information by writing select queries, insert statements and all. That is a tedious task. When explicitly it involves more record creation and more tables. Okay. So to make our job easy, so you might have heard about this person called Thomas Chung or Young. So there is a person who is in SAP industry, is working in the product team of SAP. They have created one tool which will be useful for us to upload the data for our practice purposes. Okay, what I have done is I have created a repository for that. I have just simply forked it, and I've created the service on top of the code that they have given. So I haven't written any code. I just created a service based on the class that he has created in the ABAP, in the GitHub. So that service is, let me refresh. Yeah, so you can search for this service, GCL ABAP file uploader. Okay, let me ping in the chat if anyone wants. You can look for this HTTP service. So right click and open the object, paste it here. So you will get two. One is class name and HTTP service. So go to HTTP service, and this is a class which is one which is created by the team for us to use. And you click on URL, you will get specific this user interface. Okay, so simply you just provide your table name here. So suppose this is my table name. Where is the table? Okay, this is my table name. Provide the table name, and you will get the search help here. Choose your table name. Here you will get a browsing. So you have to upload your data here. So what is the formula that you need to? Let me open that. Okay, so if you look at this one, let's say my purchase document item, these are the fields which are there, right? So if I look at, so let me open the purchase document. So, okay, this is the table we have. So you need to prepare a JSON file just like this. See, with the same field names that you are given in the table, like this. So you have to specify, create an entry separated by commas and provide the value for each field. So if this is one entry, okay, separated by comma, and this is one entry separated by comma. So at the end, all the entries will be populated. So there will be no comma at the end. Okay. Then save it as a JSON format table, and when you come to this interface, just browse this and choose your JSON file, and whether you want to append it or you want to replace the existing table, just do it and upload file, then your job is done. Okay, so let's take this one which is already there. I created on the desktop, I think. Yes, purchase doc items. Okay, so I'll replace and click on upload file. So table updated successfully. Okay, so this is how you can upload the data. So we have a document, so specifying this all the information, that is also I'm going to share with you if you are having confusion. So that will be very helpful, and you can create your entries however you want. If you want to create your own applications, or you can use this one only. Okay, yeah, so that's it. We have discussed about creating the CDS model, creating the service definition, service binding, how do we execute, how do we preview from the Eclipse. Okay, so one thing that is left is we have to understand how to create the user interface annotations as well. Okay, so that is part we are going to start next week. So I'm going to show each and every annotation practically with a preview as well, how it is before, how it looks after adding annotations, so that you'll get clear understanding. Okay.
Thank you very much for supporting and encouraging SAP Yard. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon. Please email us at mailsapyard@gmail.com or WhatsApp us at +1 251 727 9273 if you have any queries. Looking forward to seeing you live on the training day. Have a safe and wonderful time ahead. Thank you very much.